right, let's go back to our top story on the school Safety Imbizo, where let's now welcome Gauteng MEC for Education Matome Chiloane to talk to us more about this initiative. MEC, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Welcome. So please tell us more about this initiative. What necessitated it, as well as your key objectives?
Thank you. Good afternoon to you and good afternoon to your viewers. This is an important initiative that we had to undertake, informed by the spike in safety issues in our schools, ranging from bullying to gangsterism to different crime-related activities that we've been experiencing in some of our schools, as well as the research that we undertook, where we were able to determine where are these schools that are going to have a problem. The research gave us 245. Out of that, we had 75 that we identified at extreme rate. And these are the schools that we generally cover, where there's gangsterism, stabbings, etc., that we would have recently experienced. So we are looking for a collective solution with the communities, because we understand that we can't have one blanket approach. We need to be able to customize solutions, but more importantly is to get the community, the parents on board, to help us to stabilize some of these schools, because the problems that find themselves in the schools generally are from outside. So if we don't have a collaborative relationship with outside, we'll always be dealing with the effects inside, where kids come with weapons, kids are aligned to gangsters, discipline. So that's the whole purpose of this school Safety Imbizo.
I hear that you've identified over 200 schools, MEC, but where exactly are these schools that you have identified as high risk? And when you say they're high risk, I understand you mentioned issues of gangsterism, but let's talk about what exactly that it is that you have identified that makes them fall into this particular category.
Firstly, we're not saying the schools are high risk. Let me just correct. There are schools at risk, meaning that the community in which these schools find themselves are communities that are prone to challenges that are related to crime, gangsterism, vandalism, etc. But also within those schools, we've also identified patterns of conduct from those schools. For instance, there's high levels of ill discipline, bullying taking place. There's been violence in those schools. So that's what we use to characterize those schools. And those schools, generally, we then need to have a customized intervention for those particular purposes. For instance, those schools, we find them in now here in Kloof-Spruit, the El Dorado community was very strong. We're speaking about the challenges, the drug substance abuse, the drugs that have been sold in those school premises. So that intervention you do in those schools won't be the same intervention that you do in a school, for instance, in Katlehong, which maybe might not have gangsterism to such an extent, where there's gangsterism, they're arguing, some of the parents say that in some of the schools, the selling of drugs and territories, etc. But it won't happen. It's not the same response in Katlehong. Katlehong will be different. But however, the school will still have challenges because of the community, vandalism, bullying, ill discipline, violence in the school. So that's how we then characterize. So the purpose of these Imbizos, which are going to roll out across the province, is to customize solutions to deal with each school with its individual attention.
All right. So, MEC, what additional measures or interventions, as you've rightly pointed out, is the department then going to undertake to ensure that these schools that you've identified, both staff as well as learners, are actually safe, not just for a short period, but long term?
Now, firstly, we have been able to obviously bring about programs, intervention measures that we've been putting in place. For example, we've sourced patrollers, we've then sourced private security as well in the school, to be in the school premises day and night. We've then sourced obviously the collaboration, adopt a co-op, etc. But at the critical, the most important component to get these schools right, and long-term wise, is parents' involvement and active parenting from parents. Because if every child has a parent, obviously there are children who are orphans, etc. But those that have parents play and control and discipline their own child. Long-term wise, we'll have less problems because parents are actually playing a role in ensuring that they get their children right. But also, secondly, the community. We are trying to get the community on board to come on board, protect this school, because this is where your future as a community lies. This is where your children must come and become better people. Protect it, work with the school, make sure that there's minimal to no disruption to teaching and learning. I know there are challenges, for example, where gangsterism is a big problem. But however, I said to them, even if there are gangsters that are shooting each other in the streets of wherever, they should not take that violence and bring it into my school. Schools are developmental centers and they should be protected because that's where their future is. So they need to play an active role, protect school, protect the children.
Let me see, how do communities, parents, or even learners then bring about, some of the issues pertaining to the safety in the schools to your department if they're looking for any particular assistance?
No, we are accessible. I think I really do believe that we, with the technologies, even made it easier to communicate if there are issues that parents and communities need to bring up. I know that they've raised it, that we send emails, we send messages, we never get a response. And obviously then it means that somewhere there's a breakdown of communication, which in most cases you might find at the districts. And this is what I've taken up with the district directors, that you need to really improve the efficiency of communication up for intervention, because if they feel helpless, if learners feel helpless, obviously then they will be, yeah.
All right. Now, MEC, we understand this is just for Gauteng at this particular moment, but we know that similar incidents of gang violence, bullying still perpetuate in other provinces. Are there any plans to take this initiative nationwide?
I believe, obviously, the minister has highlighted school safety, and we did come and present at what we call Council of Education Ministers, which every single province was able to then present the challenges in relation to school safety and individually. So I know that at national, the DBE is looking very closely into this matter, and more importantly, to really assist us with a set of resources and really get law enforcement agencies on board. My biggest challenge is adopt a cop. Police need to adopt these schools and commit to them.
All right, MEC, thank you so much for your input this afternoon. That was Gauteng Education MEC Matome Chiloane there on the Schools Imbizo initiative that is aimed at protecting learners as well as staff.